Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Beyond the Bar. This channel is really to discuss how to get beyond bartending, how to start a new career outside of hospitality. And so I'm starting a new series here where I'm going to go over what I would do if I had to escape bartending again and start all over again. So this series will be covering the step-by-step analysis of what to do to get out of bartending into a new career, making six figures plus, and how to do that. So this is the playbook. Follow along, follow me, and make any comments about what you'd like to see. Let's get into it. So the setup is really you have the skills already. You don't need to learn a whole bunch of new things. You're already worth six figures. You just have to figure out how to translate that to a new industry. So from day one, you're not starting all over again, but you do need to refine some things. So, what do you need to refine? What do you need to learn? And how do you go about doing so? How do you go about getting that six figure job beyond the bar and getting into that new career and making that transition as smooth as possible? So, where this series is going to take you first, make your first 100,000 outside of hospitality. I've done it, how you can do the same. 7 bartending skills that become useful in this new career and how to utilize them, how to showcase them, how to show potential employers that you have value and that you are worth the position that you're applying for. How to land a sales job with zero sales experience. Because as you may or may not know, if you're following along on my Instagram channel, bartending is a sales job. And so just translating what you've already done in bartending to how that looks in sales. So that's going to be episode 3 there. How to rewrite your resume so that you're showcasing the skills you've learned behind the bar. So you're able to say, hey, I am worth taking that risk on and I'm going to outperform someone else that you could hire. What it looks like to do networking without feeling like a douche. So many people are afraid to step out there and start asking for help in their contacts and see like what that means to go to the next step. And so we're going to be covering that. And then in episode 6, it's going to be the progression of your career and how to level up once you get in it. Section 7, it's going to be 10 hours a week you can take right now to change your career and change your life. So let's get into that. First episode I'm going to be creating here. Make your first $100,000 outside of hospitality. Many of you, if you've been in hospitality for a while, are already clearing $100,000 a year. And you may be tired, your body may hurt, but you're not willing to take 50 for an office job. So how do you go about that? How do you land something that was within your first year and a half, you're going to be making that six-figure income? And that's base plus commission. Most of the jobs that I'm working in are very minimal base, if anything, mostly commission based. But you as a bartender, you're already used to commissions. Tips are essentially commissions. Everything you sell, everything that someone orders, you're making 20, 18, 20, 25% on, right? So you're already used to that. Performance-based is nothing new for bartenders. Second episode, we're going to be talking about the 7 skills you already have and how those translate into your six-figure career. You're already reading people, you're already upselling, you're already handling pressure. How these skills map out, you securing that new role and using them in this new role. There's some language difference. Obviously, every industry has kind of its own nuances and its own vocabulary, but we'll get into that. Episode 3, land a sales job with zero sales experience. Like I said, you're already a salesperson. Every shift, you're upselling bottles of wine, more expensive drams of whiskey, steaks instead of burgers. You know, you're already a salesperson. You already know how to get those tabs up, how to have a little competition with other people on the floor, see who sells more. You're already a salesperson. You're already used to quotas. You're already used to outselling the other people on the floor. And if you're great at that, it's going to be so easy for you to go into this new career and be able to excel at this. Fourth episode. Most bartenders' resumes just look like they've just bartended because many, that is all they've done, besides maybe some odd side jobs. So, how do you make it stand out? Well, you flip the table. You make them aware that bartending is sales. You use numbers, you use the covers, you use how much revenue you're driving. All these things, this hard data is going to be very useful on your resume as you transition into a sales career. And so we're going to go over that, what that looks like, how to revamp your resume, your CV, so it's getting more looks and it's being qualified for a sales career. How to network without feeling like a douche in episode 5. How to reach out and actually get replies, how to use your network to see what's out there and what's available and what sort of positions might be a fit for you. So, you've probably heard the term before, your network is your net worth. Well, we're going to go into how to do that, how to make your network work for you without being douchey. That's episode 5. Episode 6 is going to be the progression in your sales career and what that looks like. How to go from being a bartender to a setter to a closer to a sales manager to a growth operator. And not everyone's going to want to take that entire journey. A lot of people stop at closer because they're happy making that 10%. And just like a bartender who's great at their job, a lot of times can make more than the GM, a great closer can make more than a sales manager in many cases. So you may not want to take on that added responsibility, but there is a career path and there is logical steps to you making 6 figures plus in this trajectory. So we're going to go over what that looks like, how to take each step, and how to go up the ladder if that's what you want to do. Episode 7, we're going to go over action items you can take today to move into this new career. Everyone has 10 hours a week. If you look at your phone time, I'm sure you're spending over 10 hours a week doom scrolling. 95% of us are. You can use that time to start a new career. You can use that time to start building an exit. And in 90 days' time, you can be in a very different place than where you're at right now. So we're going to go over what that looks like, how to do that, how to move into the next position in your career and turn your life around and exit bartending. And if you're on this channel, that's what you're here for. You probably feel stuck. You're probably wondering, how do I do this? Well, follow along. Hit that follow button. That's going to be the key to getting updated whenever I have a new episode that drops. And comment, what would you like to see from me? What would you like me to go over as you transition out of bartending? What sort of help do you need? Because I'm here for you. So follow along and hit that comment button, and in 90 days time you can be in a very different place than where you're at today. So the premises of this is take action. You do not need permission. You just need a plan. You already have the skills to make 6 figures. So get after it. And things can change very quickly when you take action. So I look forward to seeing and hearing from all of you, but that'll only happen if you subscribe. So hit that button, and can't wait to change some lives and help all y'all. Okay, peace.